Hey guys, good afternoon. Nerdstrong, Dustin, Victor, Mike, Patrick, Jason. Good afternoon, guys. Thanks for being here. Let's maybe do a little bit of fishing. Robert, you can't fish in the Moonwell, man. Although I feel like we should be able to. I feel like Moonwell fishing should be like the best kind of fishing. Walter, hello. Mallory, good afternoon. Thanks for being here, guys. Now I recall never buying arrows. Sorry, it's gonna be one of those days. But we don't need arrows right now necessarily. I just need to have my pet clear a little spot along the lake. Lael, it was brutal and fast. Yeah. Cause like when I do that kind of thing, like I don't take breaks and I don't stop. Because I'm not a patient person when it comes to getting work done. So it was brutal, but it was over relatively quickly. And I survived. And I didn't sustain any permanent injuries. So thanks for asking, man. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, and now that that's over, I can basically look forward to the hardcore release, so it's been good. Christopher, hello. Yeah, Mallory, I saw, well, I didn't watch the video because I don't really feel like, I don't know those guys and I didn't really feel like watching the video, but I read the recap. And I actually have the recap. I had the recap up somewhere. But yeah, I saw that they mentioned possibly like some kind of self-found in the future. They don't, it's not solo self-found. Let's see, solo self-found won't be available at launch, but Blizzard is looking into making a self-found without the solo. The issue with creating a solo self-found mode, it would have a series of caveats to grouping for dungeons or for elite quest, or so on. That was like I wish the people who wrote these recaps were better writers, because that was a terrible sentence. But yeah, essentially, they're going to do self-found, but they're not. It's not going to stop you from grouping. So if you want to group up to do Pyrewood Village, you group up to do Pyrewood Village. You want to do a dungeon every day, you do a dungeon every day. And that's really cool. It'd be a lot cooler if they put achievements for stuff into the game, so that when you did a self-found run, you could actually get an achievement for it, you know? Why not just use the add-on to add anything beyond hardcore? Yeah, Clint, I don't know. Yeah, that's what Blizzard said originally. They were like, hey, yeah, go ahead and use the add-on. But apparently people, like... I guess because, like, when you offer somebody something official, then they want everything to be official, and they want the way that they want to play to be official. Even though they've been fine up until that point, like playing by the honor system on an add-on, as soon as you make something official, they're like, well, I want my way of playing official. My way should be official too. Yeah, it's that kind of mentality. No, they don't want, and they won't be happy no matter what. They're still going to say, well, that's not solo self-found. It's not solo, because it's not going to be. So if you want true solo self-found, the way we have it today, you're still going to have to use the add-on. You're still going to have to abide by the honor system. So, yeah. I don't know though. Yeah, no auction house and no mailing and no trading. Yeah, but you can group. Yeah, exactly. It's like how it probably always should have been for what we're doing right now. You know, we always should have been able to group. We always should have been able to. We probably should not really have been locked out of dungeons. You know, the 24. I think a lot of people playing on Bloodsail right now are using the 24-hour lockout. as one of their rules by the honor system. I think a lot of people are already doing that. So, yeah. Yeah, the best thing about official is that, you know, it's not the honor system. Once you die, you're dead. You can't do anything. You can go again. Buffalo Bill, good afternoon, man. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Alex, good evening. Welcome. They seem invested and enthusiastic. Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the video. Sometimes I find like developer chats really cringe, depending on like who they are, what they seem to know or not know. Like, so I'd rather just I like reading the recap of it. I don't mind the fishing to open. I like it as a way to open up the streams. I don't like stopping in the middle of my play session to fish, but in the beginning it's nice. For LFD, Buffalo Bill? No, nothing yet. It's whenever the Ice Crown patch comes out. I'm assuming that was a little bit of a typo. You probably meant LFD, not LED. Yeah, nothing yet. It's probably gonna be winter. I would be very surprised if we saw the Ice Crown patch before BlizzCon, because they're gonna want like everything possible to talk about at BlizzCon. They're not gonna want to like put anything out like super early if they can just hold on to it, so that they can have another talking point at BlizzCon to fluff out BlizzCon a little bit, you know. Maybe they'll have that guy do another awesome trailer for Ice Crown, like people can get hyped because the trailer is so good, even though the game is the same patch that we've already played, you know, 10 years ago. Maybe people will get hyped for that. But yeah, they'll probably hold off until December. November, December. Mass Attack, good evening. Thanks for being here. It's funny how, like, they also mentioned... Oh, hi, hello, how are you? They also mentioned the new season, like, whenever people talk about hardcore, for some reason, like, the seasonal stuff gets brought up. And, what the devs said, and we'll hold them to this, they said that when we get the new season of Classic Era, it's not gonna be Season of Mastery 2. That's what they said. Now... that could prove to be honest. It could be the same thing, but they could just not call it Season of Mastery. You know, it could be an experience buff, and they could call it something else. But what they said was it's not going to be Season of Mastery 2 whenever we get a new season of WoW, which will also be at the end of the year. So, yeah. Brock, good afternoon. Thanks for stopping by. Season of New Mastery, Season of Remastery. They'll just call it something, you know. It's just like they make up an arbitrary name, and it'll probably still be an XP buff, and it'll be a couple other things, you know. Like when they did Season of Mastery, they buffed the raid boss HP and stuff a little bit, and they increased the amount of items that would drop. It was something like that. So they did make changes, but the changes they made only affected like the 3% of players that went on to raid in Season of Mastery. It might be like, I'm being very generous. It's probably like 1% of players who went on to do raiding in Season of Mastery and consistently raided. The changes they made only affected 1% of players besides the XP buff. And that's weak. That's meaningless. So I hope that if they do make any other changes, that it's something that affects the entire journey, that makes the journey different and not the destination different, because I think that they need to understand, like in seasonal stuff, there's still only going to be a small percentage of people that raid, unless they do a season of accessibility where they add stuff to the raids to make them more accessible for human beings. Step number 1, give me a 20-man and a 10-man option for all raids that are 40-man, so that I don't have to do a 40-man raid, because I don't want to. That's number 1. So maybe they'll do something like that to like help more people see some of the raids in a Season of Classic Era. Yeah, I don't think they're ever gonna make a new raid or a new dungeon. No. No, what they'll do with seasons is it'll be system changes. So you're gonna be more likely to see like a 10-man molten core. You know? Than you're ever gonna be likely to see a brand new raid. Fully designed from the ground up. New bosses, new mechanics, new mobs, new loot. You're not gonna get that. That takes a team of developers, artists, writers, level designers, leads, coders. It takes a team of people to make content. They don't have that team of people working on classic WoW. Not right now. Maybe one day in the future they will, you know. But yeah, for this season you'll get another experience buff, and you'll get some system tweaks or something. I want to have hope that it'll be something really interesting. I will tell you this, I don't think they know yet what it's going to be. I don't think they know yet what it's going to be about or what they're going to do. I think they've gauged sentiment enough to know that they can't do another season of Mastery. I don't think they knew that at first, but I think they know that now. So now they're promising something different, but I don't think they know what it is yet, and I think that's why we don't know anything about it. And we're not going to find out anything about it until BlizzCon, so. You did 40-man multicore once during Original Classic, that was enough. Yeah, I never wanted to. I watched my friend raid 40-man stuff, like over his shoulder, and I'm like, well, that looks like a hot mess of garbage. And I am absolutely not interested in any scenario where like a quarter of the raid can die to stupidity and the run can be fine. I'm not really interested in that kind of content. Clint, you did it a few times and it was a mess. Yeah, that's what I mean. It looks like a mess. When I'd watch it, it just looked like a mess, and I'm like, this is not something that interests me. You know, I'd love to do it on 10-man. I'll even allow 20-man. I feel like 20 is too much. But 20-man would probably look a lot cleaner in Classic Era. There wouldn't be as many like spell effects firing off everywhere as you get in like 40-man or as you get in retail. But I just want to do 10-man stuff. I want to do really, really challenging 10-man stuff or 5-man stuff. Even give me a 5-man mythic molten core. Make it really hard. Yeah, ideally I would never raid in a group bigger than 10 people. The best time I ever had raiding was doing Ulduar hard modes. 10-man Ulduar hard modes was like some of the most challenging, fun, engaging content that I ever did in the game. As far as endgame stuff. Yeah, Dustin, I mean, you're not wrong, it's a big dungeon group, but I mean, like, either way, you can call it whatever you want. I think a lot of people just don't care about getting 40 men together to have a hot mess in an area with billions of spell effects where a fourth of the people can die, and the players who know the encounter can carry the people who didn't. It's not interesting. I want every person in the group to matter. I want to learn the encounters with that group of people, and I want us all to just be accountable for every aspect of the fight, and then when we die, we learn and we go again. I don't want to be in a raid group of 40 people where like I'll die in the first 5 seconds, and then I have to effing sit there and watch the competent people clear it. I want a chance to learn it. I want a chance to learn it. You don't get that chance when you can just get carried through content. Anybody can be carried through content in a 40-man raid. So, yeah. People are bored in Classic Raid, so they just want to get loot and peace out. I feel like that's all anybody really wants to do these days for the most part, unless you're playing with a guild of people that you really like hanging out with, you know? If you're just pugging it, then ultimately all you care about is like seeing the dungeon, getting the gear, getting out. What server will I be on? People keep asking me this. Guys, if you know where there's a list of hardcore servers, please tell me. Because I don't have a list right now. They've said they're not. They've literally, in their update, they said they're not putting out a list. Here, let me read. Blizzard will not be releasing information regarding the number of hardcore realms, the realm names, or allow name reservation. That's in the update, but people keep asking me what realm I'm going to be on. I have no effing idea. I'm going to be on a US realm. Yeah. If they have a US East realm, that's the one I'm in. So if you log in, hardcore and you're there before me, for some reason I'm not streaming, which I should be, like minute 1, day 1, and you're looking at the server list and you see a hardcore US East server, that's the one. If there are 2 of those, then there's going to be nobody around. Like, why would there be a bunch of hardcore servers? Right now, everyone's doing it on 2 servers, depending on your region. So why would there be more than 1? I'm not going to be happy if there's more than 1 per region. And I will tell you why. It's going to be the same shit where people have to figure out, where's the Horde playing? Where's the Alliance playing? And then you're going to have people who end up making a character on the wrong server, who after a couple weeks are realizing that the Alliance is dead or the Horde is dead, they're going to have to re-roll. So if there are multiple servers, I'm going to be pissed. That's all. If there are multiple servers, I'm going to be pissed. Because they're like, how are we going to know ahead of time which server is going to gravitate towards Horde and which server is going to gravitate towards Alliance? Because we know one thing about WoW players, and that is going to happen. It's going to happen if they have more than 1 per region. So I'm not going to be happy, you know, if they have multiple servers per region. It's going to make me mad. It's going to negatively affect the game mode. It's going to negatively affect the game on hardcore if they have multiple servers. Yeah, they're just like, there can't be. There can't be more than 1. It's like the fucking Highlander, okay? There can be only 1. That's how this works. That's how every time you make a fresh start, it's like a launch day. There's tons of people doing the same thing. The only way this works is if we're all on 1 server. It doesn't work any other way, and I hope they realize this. Yeah, if they have more than 1, some will be 90-10. Yeah, it'll be bad. And like, some people won't realize it. You're gonna get to level 25, and you're gonna do a /who, and you're gonna realize there's 3 people of your faction because somebody somewhere arbitrarily decided that the server you're on is the other faction. You know, I don't know how these things get arbitrarily decided, but they do. They work themselves out in such a way so that servers sway towards one faction or the other. It always happens. Alex, do you think you'll go warrior tank for official? That'd be awesome, man. I think I'm gonna go warrior DPS. And you can be assured that I won't roll on any of your shields, just because I kind of think I want an item. I won't take any of your tanking stuff. So, and we'll split up the DPS stuff, because obviously you'll still need more stuff than just like shields and shit. But that would be cool. Rod, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Zenkai, good afternoon to you. David, welcome. Monica, good afternoon. Sorry, I missed a bunch of you guys while I was ranting. I'm sorry. Tweety Bird, welcome, man. If I missed you, welcome. Anybody else I missed, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. A warrior DPS means rolling on agility bows? Yes. Obviously, I'm going to take every blue bow that I can. And I need the cloth shelters that regen. I need that health per second back. Yeah, absolutely. All gear is DPS warrior gear, you know. It's worse than hunters because I can equip any weapon. And I will. But yeah, just cross your fingers, guys, that they do the right thing and that it's one server per region. And that they just admit to the world and to themselves that they can have a server that can have lots of people on it. They can just admit it. I know they don't want us to think that mega servers are possible with WoW, but they are. They are. You know, realms like Faralina and those other really big realms that popped up, you know, originally, that proves that it can be a mega server. It can have, you know, 30,000 people on it at the same time. It's fine. I want to play a priest. I don't think I can. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go warrior. You know, maybe I'll have a list of the characters in the kill order that they'll die in, and we'll just like go. That way we'll know what we're playing next. You know. Mallory, where did the devs say that? I'm literally, unless they said it after this thing, I literally just read the bullet point from the interview that we're talking about. It says, Blizzard will not be releasing information regarding the number of hardcore realms, the realm names, or allow name reserve. I just read this so unless something has changed since like what, earlier today, yesterday evening, point me to it, give me a link, you know. I don't know. I'm only looking at the information that I have. And the information that I have says they have not told us anything yet about the number of realms. Unless you are inferring from that language that there will be multiple realms, unless you're inferring from the statement, we won't tell you how many, unless you're inferring that that means it has to be more than one, but I don't think that's necessarily true. Yeah, DPS Warrior is the only S tier class in Classic, and that's why I'm just going to roll that first, and then everything else can be weaker from there. Why would they want to keep a secret, Red Robin? I have no idea. It's Blizzard. There's no telling. My dog is exploding upstairs. He's exploding with happiness, I'm sure. If there was a previous communication about it, they wouldn't then tell us today that they're not going to tell us. You know, Blizzard don't actively try to gaslight us. You know, I don't think that they do. You know, if they had previously told us, they would not then say today that they're not going to tell us. Alright, that's probably enough fishing for today. Let's go back to town and get some ammo. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do next. I think we're going after Oaken Scowl. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll find out how many servers there are when we log in and we go to the hardcore tab. Unless they're just trying to like have little bits of info that they can parcel out to us over the coming days because they think that's really fun to do. Instead of it being hyper annoying, which is what it would really be. I'm assuming since they didn't tell us today that they're not going to tell us until we log in, but I could be wrong. Either way, yeah, I'll be playing on the US East hardcore server. Because if there are multiple, there will be one in the west time zone, there will be one in the east time zone. And yeah, and then we can all weep. We can just cry. Because we know that whatever faction we go, wherever we go, that server is going to end up being primarily the opposite faction. That's what we can be guaranteed of. Like, no matter how things work out. Okay, we need arrows. Arrows would be good, and we also need inventory space, because we don't have any. Letting this run could be okay. Could be okay. I'm gonna do all the dungeons. I don't know if I'm gonna raid. And right now I'm going Orc Warrior. But that could all change, you know. It's probably not going to at this point, but it could. Alright, there we go. We could sell the robe. We can equip the cape. Oh, that's cool looking. It's actually almost like a cape. Who would have thought? Steven, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I mean, I hope we have a big enough guild that there's people on doing stuff. We'll have to see how many people can actually play and want to play. I have a feeling we'll have to pug sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I hope not, but yeah. I do need to cook these. I should probably do that before we get going. Alright, that's good enough. Oh, I hate the totem quest, Dustin. I hate every specific class quest that gates an ability. If I have to do a quest to unlock a feature of the class, I hate it right away. Yep, I mean I like the shaman. The thing about the shaman is like no matter how you spec the shaman, it's kind of crap damage. And, you know, we might end up playing a shaman eventually because we might get everything killed, you know. But I don't want to... I want to start on the warrior and see how far they get. And then kind of go from there. Not that I think we're going to die. Because, you know, we'll be able to group up with people. So I don't think there's, like, a high likelihood of dying prior to level 30. You'd have to, like, blatantly do something really, really bad. They're egregious. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Uh-huh. Yeah, they're offensive almost, like some of them. The stuff you have to do, the places you have to go. Yeah, it's not fun. I don't have fun with it. Agent Dad, good afternoon, man. I don't think I ever did the Druid Swim Form quest because I just figured like, yeah, if I have to do a quest to get it, I don't care enough about the water form. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I never did it. And then by Wrath of the Lich King, I'm pretty sure you just train your water form at a certain rank. I don't think you have to do the quest anymore. Yeah, it's fun to have, but I don't feel like it's worth doing the questing. It's 8 p.m. there. Good evening then, man. I try to like keep track of like where people are at, but sometimes I lose track of my EU folks compared to my my US folks. Alright, cooking is done. I probably don't need to keep all these stacks on us. Let's learn the spider kebabs and get that out of our inventory. Patrick, you're talking about YouTube Premium? Is YouTube Premium worth it? Yeah, I mean, I've had YouTube Premium for 5 years and I will never go back to watching ads on YouTube. So for me, like someone who watches, like I let quite a bit of YouTube run, you know, in the evening time when I'm hanging out on the couch, when I'm reading, when I'm doing chores, I'll usually let something run on YouTube just to have it on in the background. And so for me, it's totally worth it, you know, but I guess it depends. If you watch YouTube every day, then yeah. If you watch something on YouTube every day, or you feel like you're on YouTube for more than an hour a day, I'd say yeah, it's definitely worth it. If you're only on like sporadically, it's hard to say. Let's see. I want to equip my dagger. Yeah, for me, I can't be without it. It's sickening because at this point they could probably charge me. They could probably charge me about $25 before I'd start to think like maybe I was getting ripped off. You know, they're not charging that much. But for me, it's an absolute must to the point where they could exploit me a lot more than they do. Sadly. And YouTube Premium is good for YouTube creators as well, because when you have YouTube Premium, when you let someone's content run, it treats it as if you watched all the ads that would have played. So it's good for creators too. So like instead of like skipping every skippable ad, which obviously you're gonna want to do if you have to like be subjected to them, YouTube Premium treats it as if you had watched it all. So yeah. Ad blocking is free, yeah, but not. I don't think it's really legal. I don't know. But yeah, you know, do what you got to do. I think it's $14 a month USD right now is the consensus we had. For some reason, I thought they upped it to 18, but I don't think they did. It was $11.99 and now it's 14. And that's just like inflation. Like the price of stuff is always gonna just go up a little bit over time. Not sure how my health bars got turned out. Where is my cat? I don't know. You guys saw that, right? You guys saw my cat just blip into the world after not being in the world? Did you guys see that? Or am I losing my mind? How come I'm playing a warrior? Because I like warriors a lot. They're probably my favorite class. Which is typically why people do stuff, but also they're S tier DPS, though that's really helpful as well. He was in the water catching fish. Yeah, I hope so. Why not go to Westfall right now? Because I'll die during the wetlands run, and I'm too lazy to make the swim. Also level 12 is not when you want to go to Westfall. You want to go to Westfall level 14, 15, so that way you can like tackle a bunch of stuff all at once. What was my deciding factor to go Horde Nerd Strong? Mainly that we've just been playing a lot of Alliance, and I know some people get sick of seeing the same zones. It was a content decision more than it was a player decision, honestly. I mean, you'd think for me too, maybe I'd be happier seeing some different zones. But yeah, it was more of, oh look at that, it was more of a content thing. We haven't played a lot of Horde in a while, so it was time. Yeah, I like melee because it actually feels like I'm engaging with combat, as opposed to like kind of what we're doing now. We're like, yeah, I'm in the combat, but I'm way back here. We're going with a body type B orc warrior. Yeah, that's right. Unless I totally change everything, you know, I can't be held accountable if I completely change my mind. Nah, Tauren moved too slow. What I come to realize with Tauren is that like in a game where every single race has to move at the same exact run speed, the Tauren look like they're moving through molasses. They look like they're running through water. You know, like you're at the bottom of a pool and you try to run. That's what the Tauren look like all the time, and it sounds stupid, but it gets immersion breaking for me. Like I start to kind of hate how it looks when they're running around. So I don't want to be that tall of a race in a game where my run speed is going to be the same as everybody else's. I didn't realize this was a 2-pull. I'm going to have him go in on the non-elite first, and we'll get that taken care of, then we'll switch over to Oakenscowl. Oakenscowl did not seem really interested at first in aggroing the cat. That's really interesting. That bought us some additional time here. The cat's HP is doing pretty good. Yeah, I think we have this. We're gonna do some stuff in Mulgore. Yeah, we're gonna zone hop over into Mulgore. Absolutely. Yeah, because we're gonna zone hop early on, and we're not gonna go to the undead areas until Silverpine. So we are gonna zone hop into Mulgore. You know, we'll do a little bit of stuff in Sen'jin Village or whatever, and then we'll head over to Mulgore. It's a little bit of a run, but I feel like it'll be good. I'm not going to do like the starting area of Mulgore. We'll do like the greater area of Mulgore. So we'll do the Valley of Trials, and we'll do a little bit in Sen'jin Village, and then we'll make the run. 4 people in the starting area on Bloodsail Buccaneers right now. Ouch. Big ouch. 5 people here at our level. I was playing Wrath of the Lich King earlier, leveling up in the Ghostlands on my Warlock, and there were like 18 people on at like 12:30 on a Monday, which was pretty impressive for Wrath of the Lich King. Agent Dead, we're gonna have a guild in the official hardcore, assuming I can get 10 people on in one place at one time to sign the charter. So yeah, that's the plan for hardcore. And then maybe for Cataclysm we do something. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do any endgame stuff in Wrath of the Lich King, because for me, like, the ship has kind of sailed. I did those raids so much, but I didn't raid as much in Cata. And the only raid that really sticks out to me from Cata is the Firelens raid. That's the only one that I have like any big memories of. So maybe in Kata we'll put a guild together, and we can do some raiding and stuff. But I think for Wrath I'm probably just not going to. We're getting to the end of Wrath anyway. And we're getting to the end of Wrath, and like a lot of people are done with Wrath, and having the LFD is going to be really nice to level up some characters and get some classes prepared for Cataclysm. But yeah, retail. I'm not an endgame player at retail, so there's no reason for me to make a guild. And I don't know if that's ever going to change. I'm definitely not going to be doing any raids or endgame stuff in Dragonflight. It's just, it doesn't interest me right now. And so yeah, I plan to level up all the character classes in retail though, and have my pick for the next expansion of whatever we want to play. So that's the part of retail I'm enjoying, is just leveling up characters, learning the classes, seeing the new talent trees, and just really just getting familiar with the classes a little bit. But I don't think I have a desire to do raiding in this expansion. Maybe in 11.0. Okay, so now the only stuff we have left is going to be up in the northwestern part of the zone, so we're going to have to head that way. Music seems a little loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I do play on an NA server. I do, and I'll probably just stay on NA. It's either way, like no matter where I play, like there's gonna be a group of you guys that you're gonna be in the wrong time zone. You know what I mean? So it makes more sense for me to play in my region, because no matter where I choose to play, it's gonna be a totally different time of day for some of you guys. That's changing the regions would be a net neutral for everybody. For overall, but it would be like a negative for me. I just enjoy being in my time zone. Music was a little loud. Yeah, it has peaks to it. Should be a little bit less now. Ahsoka's coming out tomorrow a day early. Yeah, I might check that out. I don't know. I don't know, because the Clone Wars animated series was amazing. It was some of the best storytelling that's ever happened to Star Wars. I didn't watch Rebels. I didn't watch all of Rebels, but I hear that that's also kind of continued being really, really good. So I don't know if I want to see this character live action. I don't know if I have any faith in the writing teams or anything after Mandalorian was a train wreck for its 3rd season. I don't like TV stories, because like the writers, directors, actors, producers, it all changes like season to season. So much changes in a TV show and its production that I don't feel like they get to tell a story. I feel like they have to reactively make content, but I don't feel like they tell a story beginning, middle, and end in television anymore. Maybe they never did. They just have to react to like social pressures, fan pressures, whether or not they can keep employing an actor because of some shit they said on social media. When an actor gets sick of a show and they just want to do something else, they have to write around that. And I don't find that kind of reactive storytelling very interesting, especially because for the past 8 or 9 months I've been reading all of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere books, which are effing amazing. And I kind of told myself, well, if I want a good story, I'll just read a book. And I'll rely on a book, because a book is written by a guy, woman, person, small group of people sometimes. And they get to tell their whole story. They don't have like an actor quitting or a writer's strike. They just get to tell their whole story. They get to conceive it all in their head, and they get to put it down onto paper. And so I like that kind of story. So I'm still on the fence about whether I'm going to watch the show, or any shows going forward. The Witcher producers do the opposite of what fans want. That happens too. Yeah, it's like either way, things change so rapidly with TV shows and movie universes that they're not getting to tell a story. They're just reactively making content, and some people are okay with that. I don't really like it. Because it leads to situations like with The Mandalorian, where I was like super invested in seasons 1 and 2. I thought they were really amazing. As soon as season 3 opened, and there was no Luke, and there was no Grogu training to be a Jedi, and we were skipped forward in time to some arbitrary point with some arbitrary shit going on, I knew it was dead. I knew they had killed it. And I didn't know why they killed it or what was going on at the time, whatever, but I knew it was dead, and it was dead. I watched like 3 episodes of season 3. It got stupider and stupider, and then I was like, you know what? I'm done. Some video games aren't different, Dustin, but a lot of times you make a video game and the video game is done and you get to see the whole story of the video game. When you play Final Fantasy VII, you're not playing Final Fantasy VII week to week. The guy who plays Cloud isn't gonna quit. The girl who plays Tifa isn't gonna post some insensitive shit on social media and get fired from the show. That's how video games are different. They make a game, and I'm talking about real games, not MMOs that go on and on and on and on. Okay, I'm talking about actual just video games, single player, story-driven RPGs, action games, etc. In a game, you get the story, and maybe you'll get a sequel, maybe you'll get a series, but you get to see the story. And like I said, Cloud Strife's not going to quit midway through, you know. And all of a sudden, he's going to look different in the next season. He's not going to be played by a different guy when you fire the game up in a couple days to continue the journey. That's how it's different. But yeah, I'm kind of over big stories in games too. Like, I don't care if a game has a big story. In fact, I found Baldur's Gate incredibly boring because it was a game that wanted me to listen to 7 hours of dialogue every time I played. And I don't want to listen to 7 hours of dialogue. I kind of just want to play a game. I saw a video, I didn't watch it yet, but I saw Josh Strife Hayes has a video about, like, do you care about story in your MMO? I want to watch that video because, like, more and more, like, the older I get especially, like, I don't really care about, like, I don't want, like, a big A-plot story in my MMO. I don't want a big A-plot story in my MMO. I don't want the Final Fantasy MSQ in my MMO. As cool as it is, it belongs in a JRPG. I don't want the story of Dragonflight going on with its cartoon Disney Pixar villains. I want my stories to be like they were in Classic, where there's stuff going on. It's described to you in the quest text. It's happening on a zone-to-zone level. I want those little stories that just kind of add flavor, context, and background to the world. And I would be much happier with an MMO that did not have a big, giant, glittery A-plot with action scenes and cutscenes and other horse crap. I just want the stories that do exist, I want them to be on a boots-on-the-ground level, in the zone I'm in, dealing with local problems that make sense and kind of flesh the world out. So, yeah. Yeah, just world building. And just letting you know, like, what's going on in the zone. Like, what's going on here in Teldrassil. Well, there's some kind of shadowy stuff affecting the tree. The tree's not really growing right. It's tainting some of the creatures. It's bad news. We're investigating some of it. We're learning little bits. But it's not a big A-plot. You know, we're not going to follow it from zone to zone to zone to zone. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I want in my MMOs. And even just in my video games in general. I don't really want, like, a big A-plot anymore. Maybe it's because, like, you know, we've seen what's happened to World of Warcraft. It's been trying to have a big A-plot probably at least since, like, Cataclysm, I feel like. I feel like when they turned Thrall into Shaman Jesus, like, that's when WoW really started to feel like it wanted to follow, like, a very linear, big A-plot that was in your face the whole time. And that just kind of continued and continued. And that it didn't make the game better. It kind of made the game worse. Or rather, the game got worse for me as they did that, you know? I'm trying to make my way to the tree here. However, yeah, let's make our way to the tree. We have the cat back here we could rescue too. Oh, they have a big heal. Perfect. And it's funny to think that like trying to shove a big story into a game could actually just make it worse. But it takes what happens is like it took effort away from other parts of the game that used to be good. And it shifted the focus of the game towards something that like I don't think anybody really asked for. I don't think a lot of people who were playing vanilla WoW back in 2004 and 5, I don't think they were like, damn, you know what would make this game better? If it had a very linear, very front-to-back, action-motivated A-plot. Like, I don't think anybody wanted that. I don't know that anybody ever asked for it. But, yeah, for some reason, that's the direction they went. Instead of making more of the same, you know, just more good content, like, of the same kind and of the same tone, they're just like, let's just put more and more and more and more stories shoved into the players' faces that they never really asked for and maybe don't want. Do I really want to fight all these guys to get back there? Not particularly. Am I going to stream ESO? Probably never. But I am going to keep playing ESO. Probably like every other day there should be a video. And I'll keep playing it for a while. I'll keep playing it as long as it's fun, because I'm still really enjoying the stories, but I don't think I'm ever going to stream it. If I wanted to have 3 people in chat, then I would stream ESO. According to my channel metrics, not according to how many people in the world like ESO. People love ESO. But, you know, the people who like ESO that find my channel, that's a much, much smaller number of people. Yeah, two things kind of jaded me to the idea of big stories in MMOs. Firstly, Dragonflight, Shadowlands, Battle for Azeroth. All those kind of prove to me it's like, well, they're not going to do it right. They're not going to do it well. The dialogue's never going to be good. The scene framing is never going to be good. The story's never... Okay, so they can... And then the other thing was like, okay, so Final Fantasy XIV is the other side of the coin. It has an amazing story. But you have to play it for 350 hours to see it all. And that's too much time to be grinding a main story. Because when you grind a main story that way, you don't feel like you're playing an MMO anymore. You're doing the same exact route that every other player who played the game did. Because you all have to do the MSQ. Which, so as good as the MSQ is, like, it's just like, I don't really want it in my MMO. What made me go back to ESO? Being so bored of Baldur's Gate. Seeing things that I liked in Baldur's Gate that was just too much, and realizing that a game like ESO has a very good balance of talking to characters, exploring the world, and combat. Whereas a game like Baldur's Gate, or like most CRPGs, they don't have a balance. It's mainly dialogue. It's mainly dialogue, and some exploration, and a very little bit of combat. That's what made me go back to ESO, was having the perspective of playing Baldur's Gate 3. And I really wanted to, we finished off the story of the 2 assassins, and that story was like stuck in my head. Like I wanted to see, and that's a good thing, like I didn't want to see what became of those characters. And that was just a side quest. That was the really cool part, is that wasn't a plot. That was like a random side quest I took to help those ladies. And it was really interesting. The characters were really well done, and I didn't have to talk to them for 2 hours straight. I didn't have to go back to my camp and feel compelled to talk to them for 2 hours straight to get all their dialogue out of the way. I didn't feel compelled to like say the thing that I knew they would like to manipulate the NPC into liking me more. So yeah, all those things are what compelled me to go back to ESO. Just perspective. Have I tried any group content? No. No, and I don't know if I will. Somebody left me a cute comment on YouTube. They're like, "Oh, I don't see what makes this game an MMO." I don't know, because it makes it an MMO because you can play with other people if you want to. I'm kind of enjoying it just as an Elder Scrolls game. And so I don't know if or when. I'd probably have like hundreds of hours under my belt before I really even started to think about like what multiplayer looks like in the game. Because that's not really my interest in it. My interest in it is like the world, the lore, feeling like I can just kind of explore around and find quests to do that are interesting. I don't mind things taking a long time as long as I'm not compelled to spend 2 hours at a time talking to NPCs, Dustin. No, I did enjoy Mass Effect. By ME, I'm assuming you mean Mass Effect. I did enjoy Mass Effect back in the day quite a lot because it had a good balance of dialogue, exploration, and combat. And Baldur's Gate didn't. So I may or may not enjoy Starfield, but I did extensively enjoy all of the Mass Effect games when they came out and actually beat them when they came out. And I do like that style of game where I want some RP. I want to make some choices. I want to talk to my characters. I just don't want to do it for 7 hours straight. I don't want to feel like I have to save scum my dialogue choices because now, because I didn't say the right thing, I'm stuck in combat with 20 guys that I can't beat. Baldur's Gate 3 made me feel like the best way to play it would be to save scum every single dialogue choice that didn't go well. Every single dialogue choice that led me to combat, I felt like, well, I should probably save scum that I'm not supposed to fight. I didn't like that feeling, and Mass Effect didn't make me feel that way, and I doubt Starfield's gonna turn me away from going out and blasting some guys. I'm pretty sure they want me to go out and blast a bunch of guys. Yeah, in space, on a planet. I think that's like a lot of what the game's about. Brock, thank you so much, man. 10 gifted memberships. Welcome to the 10 new people. That's huge, man. Thank you. In the middle of a rant, too. I totally missed you. I'm sorry. I was going. That doesn't seem like a very safe pull. I feel like I'd probably get all of them if I went in there. I'm doing a time quest right now? That sucks. You're right, I totally am. I had a feeling we might want to get Mist back to his owner. She's really close. We're done with this quest. I will stop grinding on harpies, as fun as it is to grind on harpies. And I will take her back to her owner. Thank you. Brock, don't apologize, man. You're awesome. You're fine. The context matters, yeah. I think in any context, it's still a true statement. Alright, so the only other things left to do would be to get the silvery spinnerets, and you know, we could look for the name guy. I've only seen him one time in 20 years. So I'm not sure. I thought we had a quest to fill up at the Moonwell too. Do I not have a quest to fill up at the Moonwell? Did I already do that? I guess that one's already done. Cool. Awesome. Perfect. Let's head up this way. I did fill it. God, that's great. I'm glad I can do things on autopilot and have zero memory of doing them. That's awesome. Johnny, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing well today. Well, she wasn't over here, so I guess we're going to the other side of the river. You guys see this guy is completely bugged out, right? He somehow teleported from the water, and now he's somewhere in the earth, and I'm not sure, but at least it got us out of combat with him. That's cool. My pet is being very buggy today. Everything's being very buggy. Johnny, did you lose your druid? Oh no. That was quick. That did not last very long. Ow. The pain. Yeah, I've noticed that now, Alex. The weird thing is I've never noticed it before. I've leveled through here a couple of times, but I've never leveled through here as a hunter. Yeah, it's very buggy. Oh, inventory full. Oh, good. That's so great. I love it. We're gonna have to make at least one spot for the spinnerets. My pet is just... he's gone. He can't even water. He can't even water. He can't do it. Here he comes. He's having a heck of a time today. Mark, happy Monday, man. I'm doing okay. I can't complain. I'm gonna blame the pet though, cause the water's not bugging me out. It's bugging my pet out. So I'm gonna blame the if the water were bugging me out and my pet out, then I'd blame the water. I know what you're saying is technically accurate, but I like blaming the pet. Katie, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Thanks for being here. We can't skin because we have no inventory space. It's very sad. I am going to drop some of the things. Peace Bloom is not going to sell for a lot. Light Feathers I don't need. Tribal Belts. Tribal Belt I do need. It's an upgrade. Alright, so yeah, we have a couple of options. I guess we should really make the run back to Darnassus. We can look along the river to see if we can find this guy. I've only seen him once in my life, so it's not likely that we're going to see him. But we can go check. Yeah, someone told me that once he has like a 36-hour respawn time. It might not be 36 hours. That might have been the rare in the Alterac Mountains. Yeah, he has some kind of long timer to respawn. So if anybody killed him recently, we're not going to see him. Now, would anybody have killed him recently? Yeah, like a couple people might have killed him recently. There's not a lot of people online, but there's enough people. Yeah, we saw him the one time. It was crazy. I had never seen him before to the point where I just figured I didn't understand like the quest or what was going on with it. But we saw him once. We saw him one time. It's proof of his existence, but not much more than that. And I feel like the time we saw him, I think that was in an immersive. I don't think that was a hardcore. And that was probably why we saw him. Because nobody was there to kill him. Yeah, it is a strange choice to put such a long respawn timer on an enemy in the starting zone. That's a weird one. I guess because, like, yeah, I get it. Like, if you do happen to find him, it felt pretty good. I was like, oh, cool, I finally get to see this guy. So it feels really good the one time in 20 years you see him, but it feels bad every other time. Also keep in mind, though, that, like, you know, back in the day, people didn't have Questie or any kind of quest help. So if you were playing originally, like, yeah, if you didn't see him, you just didn't know he existed. But if you did see him, you got the quest item. Katie, I'm glad you're enjoying the Blood Elf. I'm having a good time too. It's nice to be in Wrath of the Lich King again. It's nice to be in the Blood Elf zones. They're always very relaxing. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him this time around. Let's get over to the road, or the trail, and we'll make our way down to Darnassus. There have actually been a lot of quests in the game that I didn't know about until Questie, even playing so much. There's a lot of quests that like I just didn't know. And then you see them on the map and you're like, wait a minute, what's that? There's the one in like Duratar outside of Orgrimmar for the guy who's been like poisoned. Never knew that was a quest. Yeah, there's a good handful of... Is my pet dead? Did my pet die and I didn't notice? My poor pet. My poor cat. I like the Draenei starting zone as well. It's, that one's also really relaxing. My pet didn't die, he just can't stand water. Which makes sense because, you know, I don't think cats like water too much to begin with. He's still happy though, so that's good. More Valheim Lil? Yeah, probably tomorrow I should have another Valheim video. I think tomorrow. There, 30 no trespassing, no soliciting signs aren't enough for the solar salesman. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I need to put a sign on my door that just says, like, don't knock on my door during, like, work hours. Sometimes I feel like that'd be a good... I haven't yet. But every once in a while, like, the neighbor or somebody will come by, like, during work hours and, like, she'll want to talk to me or to my wife. And, like... She knows we both work from home, but I think in her mind she just thinks that we don't work. You know how people who like they're not really around people who have jobs that they work from home. Like people hear you say, "Oh, I work from home," and they just assume that means you don't do anything, or that you sell illegal substances. And so she'll come by and knock sometimes, and it fires the dog up. You know, like you guys heard the dog exploding earlier. It fires the dog up, man. And she knows about the dog, so I want to put up a sign that just says like, "Hey, like don't come to my door for anything less than an emergency if it's between like 9 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the evening." I haven't done it yet. Every time my dog barks though, I think about it. I don't think I put a sign up like that, Lael. People might take that seriously. People might take that too seriously. I might have somebody else knocking on my door if I put that sign up. Johnny, you gotta get some like big Mastiff dogs and let them just like run around on the land, you know? Get like a pack of 5 of them, and just let them run around. Make them like just feral land dogs, and that'll probably deter people. If I tried to pull down a driveway and there were like 5 Mastiffs howling at me, I'd probably just put it in reverse. Check that address off my list permanently, and never go back. But he might see like your situation, and he might think, well, this might be a person who could use some solar power, you know. He might have just told himself, well, if I can talk to this guy, like, he might really benefit from what I'm trying to sell him. Sometimes salesmen are like sincere with like sometimes they believe in their product that they're selling, and it makes them more like tenacious. If it makes them more if they actually believe that what they're trying to sell you is a good thing, then it makes them like actually try a lot harder, which can be annoying if you just don't want them to try at all. Too many feral cats. Yeah. Surprised the feral cats didn't scare him off. Alright, we are going somewhere. Oh, to the Grove of the Ancients. Wait. Oh no, did I do these out of order? I have no idea what he wants us to do. Oh, we're going back to this guy, Denelon. For some reason I thought he was sending us back up here. But he's not. We're fine. Yeah, I don't like anybody coming to my door unless they're delivering a package. And then they don't come to the door, they just like, we have them put it by the side door. They don't even have to come up on the porch and alert the dog. I don't like anybody coming over for any reason. Like not unannounced, you know what I mean? That's why it bothers me when the neighbor knocks on the door. It's like, just send a text message. Don't knock on the door. Nosy neighbors. Neighbors who've talked to you, you know, we're pretty familiar with a couple of the neighbors. We've been here for a few years now. And so, yeah, what happens is the people get comfortable with you. Like, if you're polite to somebody a couple times and, like, you engage them in conversations a couple times, and, like, even though you don't really want to, you do it anyway. And then people are like, hey, we're buddies. And usually it's fine, but it's like just during the day, it's like it can be a big disturbance. And it's always just something that she wants to tell us that could have waited till like a different time. It's never anything like super important. What is this? Nessa Shadow Song. A friend of mine is a fishing merchant en route there in village. Okay, it's a breadcrumb. Got it. Yeah, Amy, I hope that she didn't actually ask that at any point. Is that a real thing? Now you want my resources? My dog has to bark and you want cooking ingredients? I don't know if I can allow it. Your nosy neighbor is always drunk when she talks to you, Red Robin. I'm kind of convinced that like ours might be also. Maybe not all the time, but like some of the time. Or just like in some kind of altered mind state. It might not be that she's drunk. It could be any number of things, I guess. I kind of just want a hearth back. That's being a little bit lazy, but I feel like I never used the hearthstone, so... Maybe. How many people do I think work from home intoxicated? I don't know. Probably the same people that would be at the office intoxicated, though. You know, it's probably not like a large proportion more people. If you're a person who would go out to lunch and have a few drinks, then you're probably someone who's going to do the same thing at home. And if you're not a person who's going to go out in the middle of the day and have a few drinks, then you're probably not going to do it at home either. I think the number is probably very similar. How's the weather here today, Brock? Well, it's really hot today. I think we're going to have a record high for today for Michigan. Is what the weather said. Our weather's been all over the place. Last week it felt like autumn for a couple days. Now it feels like the heat of summer. Usually by this point in August, like, our hottest days are done. That's supposed to be one of the benefits of living in Michigan, is that usually by this point in August, our hottest days are done. But we're spiking up today. And we're gonna have like a 92 degree day. Thursday, the day of the hardcore release, is gonna be like 92 degrees. Usually here, at that point in August, the high would be like 78 to 82. Third Coast Mermaid, that sounds like a horrible situation. That'd be awful. They feel like it's still their house and stuff. Oh no. Yeah, that'd be really, really obnoxious to me. I would, unfortunately, like when people are way too nosy, or I can kind of be a dick to people when they do that. So that would be a terrible situation for me, because I'd probably end up being a real jerk after I got sick of it. Alright, let's let him do his thing. I think we're almost getting to a point where we're done here. I could have turned in the quest back in the Temple of the Moon, but we're gonna have to head back that way eventually anyway. So, it's fine. It's supposed to be 100 in Indiana, Brock? Jeez. Yeah, it's probably gonna feel like 100 here, but thankfully it's only gonna be like 92. It's just gonna be another day that, like, you know, when you go outside, you're just physically and emotionally miserable the whole time. We're just hoping that summer ends eventually. Alright, hey, are we done here? I feel like it's possible we missed a thing or two, but maybe we didn't. Huh. We might actually be done here. I don't really know how I feel about going into Darkshore at level 13. What I feel like is that once we get into Darkshore, we're probably gonna have to do grinding at some point. Wait, oh, this guy has another quest. Or maybe he doesn't. Okay, there's something has a quest. Maybe we click on the plant. Yeah, we click on the plants. Tweety says, we're having a cool front today. It's only 100. What a depressing state of existence to be in. Colonel Boomer, you moved from Illinois to Illinois from California and you got to learn about humidity? Yeah? Humidity sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, people who don't deal with humidity, they think they know what it means, but they don't. Because it's the worst part of the heat here is usually just the humidity, and how it can become so stifling that not only does it make it feel hotter than it actually is by many degrees, it also just makes it so that you feel like you can't breathe, you know, or move or think, you know. And add to that like some poor air quality on top of humidity, add to that some poor air quality, and then you're in for like an actual shitstorm of not being able to breathe at all. You know, it's really bad. Yeah. Would you guys say that this has been like the worst year for you for the heat, or is this heat that you guys are experiencing, is it like pretty typical of where you've lived? Because for us here, like it's been so much hotter than it normally would be. It's been so much hotter for so much longer into the summer than it normally would be here. The fact that we're gonna have a 90-degree day on Thursday is like kind of outlandish. I want like global cooling. I could really get behind global cooling. Yeah, we have global warming, but I kind of want it to go the other way. Like, we don't need to go, like, full on into an ice age. But maybe we can go, like, a third of the way there. And just enjoy some global cooling for a while. Yeah, 70 would be nice year round. I need it to be a little bit cooler than that, but that could be the high. Yeah, if it was like 70 for a high, and that would have to be like, you know, as warm as it got most of the year. I'd be pretty happy with that. 70 degrees Fahrenheit for a high for most of the summer would be ideal. I like it when it gets cold. I don't really like dealing with snow and ice, but I'm used to it. You keep your AC at 62. If I tried to keep my AC at 62, it would explode. When it's hot here, it's hard to even get the house to stay like 72 in the middle of the day. We had a big tree in the yard that used to like afford a lot of shade, and then that tree had to get cut down. And now we have no shade, so the house went from like being really easy to keep cool to being absolutely impossible to keep cool. It got really bad. It got bad. The tree was amazing. It was like, yeah, the tree was there. It's like, it blocked basically all of the sun, all of the hot part of the day. It was just like shaded. Yeah, the problem with the climate crisis is that it doesn't end the world. It's just like, it makes everybody miserable. Like, it doesn't get to just be the end. It doesn't end because you have to suffer through it. An end implies, like, an end of suffering. Yeah, having the electric company have control over your thermostat's really, really weird to me. It's really weird to me. I definitely would not appreciate that. I'm sure they would love it if I just used less energy, you know? But I have to use what I have to use. You'd rather just one big meteor just to, yeah, exactly. Yep. One big meteor would be more efficient. What do we want to do first? We have 2 quests, they're in opposite directions, so I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll go up here first and talk to the druid guy. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's rude of them to just adjust it down. Because you're the one paying for it. What do they care? Melissa, you got a shame letter from your electric company letting you know you use far more electric than the neighbors. I feel like my electric company provides stats like that too. It was like average in your neighborhood, average of you last year. Yeah, I feel like that's something that my company does too. They give you like a little bar graph to show you like how tall your bar is compared to like a normal person's bar. And I'm like, nah, give me a break. I hear my neighbor's AC's running nonstop too. I bet they send everybody in the neighborhood the exact same bar graph, you know, they just say all your neighbors are being much more efficient with their energy usage. And they just tell that to everybody. It seems like a good, because some people will be like, oh man, maybe I should really cut back. Like, it will affect some people. So to them it's probably worth it just to send the same piece of mail to everybody in that regard. What is this quest here? The Alliance needs your help. Not at this level, it doesn't. Yeah, we have been going Beast Mastery. I should probably spend the talent point that we have. That could be useful. Your gas prices are up too, Johnny? Is that low for you or high for you? That would be really high for me where I'm at. Like our gas prices are almost at $4, and that's kind of pretty high still. We don't drive like a ton right now unless we're going on like a trip somewhere, so it doesn't affect us as much as it would have in the past. When we were both going to the office and lived a little bit further from work, then it was pretty impactful, but the last place we lived, we were walking distance from the office we were working at, and then now here we are both working at home, so now I don't have to pay too much attention, thankfully, to the gas prices. But I feel like whenever I do look at them, they seem outrageous. Like, the few times I do look at them, they seem pretty high. The Night Elf start is tough. It's a little bit tougher than most of the other starts. And the thing that makes it even more tough is that you can't easily zone hop anywhere. Ivy, good afternoon. I am having a pretty good day so far. Yeah, being able to walk to work was one of the coolest experiences. I really appreciate every day. I made sure that on the walk I made sure to tell myself and be grateful for the ability to have a time in my life when I can do that. And yep, it was really nice while it lasted. Alright, I think we're all done here. I can't think of, let's see, are we done here? Yeah, we didn't get this guy, that's fine. Yeah, I think we're on the road to Aberdeen now. Besotted, we do know when they release. They're going to be out this Thursday. Now, what time on Thursday? I don't know. Probably 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I had to guess. And that's all we know right now. We should have emptied our inventory at any of the numerous vendors that we happened past. Would have been a really, really good idea. Alright, let's do that. Oh, she's a vendor. Robert, she's a vendor. Oh, okay, good. Perfect. We don't need the boat, right? We're taking the flight point over. Operation, am I prepared for hardcore this week? I mean, yeah. It's not going to be like super different than any other day for me. And also, like, I'm not really counting on the servers coming up until about 6 o'clock in the evening. If the servers come up at 6 o'clock in the evening, it's after dinner time. That's kind of perfect. But besides that, I'm not really like planning to do much different. You know, if we do play at 6, we'll probably go for a few hours. You know, the first night. I'm not gonna like push super hard. I'm not gonna play for like 12 hours straight. Try to like level as quick as I can. Not in hardcore, especially. I'm worried about the folks who decided to take the 24th off of work, because they're not going to have a lot of time that day to actually be able to play. Yeah, I always feel like if you want to take time off, or you want to like allocate like special time to play WoW on like after a launch, do it the day after. Day after. When I talk about the time, I'm speculating. You know, they haven't actually talked about what time the servers will come up. I'm sure that they'll want to get them up as quickly as they can. I'm wondering if they might not do the heavy lift tomorrow, during the maintenance tomorrow, and just have an extended maintenance tomorrow. And maybe if they do that, guys, maybe then they can turn the things on, you know, in the middle of the day on Thursday. How long is maintenance scheduled for tomorrow? I thought I saw that it was an extended maintenance. Let me have a look. They're scheduling maintenance tomorrow for Classic and Retail from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's a big maintenance. That's a major patch maintenance window. 7 to 3. That's all day. See, that's the 6 p.m. my time. So 3 p.m. Pacific destination time is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think they're gonna put them in tomorrow. Yeah, looking at that, I have to think that they're gonna try to prep it all tomorrow during the maintenance, and then maybe that means that like whenever they want to flip the switch on Thursday, they'll be able to do that. You know. Yeah, this morning it had a normal maintenance window listed. It said 7 PDT to 8 PDT. Now it says they're not coming back up until 3. So yeah, hey, maybe we'll get really lucky if they put the server in place. You know, tomorrow after maintenance, we would then be able to see server names at that time and stuff like that. So that would be really cool. Yeah, we're gonna do the fishing quest. Sure, there's 2 of them, right? There's one from a gnome, I think, too. There's only a billion quests here to pick up. That's fine. Should we do the fishing stuff and get the fishing quest out of the way? Probably. There's two of them. We need the gaffer jacks for the gnome, and then whatever fish the dwarf wanted us to fish up. So maybe we do that for a while. Skinning is almost capped out. That's not great. Fishing is also probably going to be capped out, but we can train that here. That's good. Darkshore is one of the only, like, kind of starting-ish zones that I have never completely finished all the questing. Like, there's quests down in the excavation site and stuff. I've never seen them. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of quests here towards the end, like towards level 20 questing, that I just haven't seen at all. So I'm kind of looking forward to eventually seeing those. Is there a first aid trainer here? Would we probably just have to go back to Darnassus, I think, to train up first aid. Don't do the quest for the Murlocs underwater? I don't even know that one. Is it really bad? Yeah, that sounds like one that I've never done. Johnny's like, do it, man, just do it. Maybe. Yeah, I don't like Murlocs, and like Murlocs being underwater are even worse because they can swim a lot faster than they can run, and they always run away. Now, being a hunter, I can just like concussive shot them and shoot them in the back as they try to swim away. Yeah, I don't really want to deal with Murlocs, especially in the water. Yeah, Sandbox, on the Alliance side especially, it's really easy to never come to Kalimdor. They set it up in a way that if you're a human or a dwarf or a gnome, you could spend most of your journey in the Eastern Kingdoms, especially until you have to go to places like Tannerus. I think like Dustwallow, well not even Dustwallow in vanilla, because there wasn't as much to do in Dustwallow as there were after BC. But yeah, you can get stuck in Eastern Kingdoms and never leave. We are not having a lot of luck catching anything quest related. So we'll see if how long I can make myself sit here and fish. It might not be super long. We might have to go fight stuff. We could fight the crawlers nearby if we get like really bored of fishing. We can fight some of these crawlers. I wonder if our pet could kill the crawlers for us while we fish. We probably can't fish in combat, though. Yeah, we can't fish in combat. Sadly, it's not going to be possible. Maybe they have an add-on to remind you to breathe. It's probably a setting you can do in weak auras. Yeah, Mike, my ADD is always trying to kick in. That's why it helps me to keep moving, to keep fighting. That's why, like, you know, obviously part of my reason with Baldur's Gate 3 was like I clearly like suffer from some kind of ADD. That being said, I can sit there and I can read a book though, you know. So it's like it's different. It's like ADD that happens during certain activities. Yeah, because I can sit there and read a book just fine. I can get stuff done just fine. So it's not like hyper disruptive. But when it comes to doing something kind of inane in a video game, my ADD is like, it's always on point. It's like, yeah, I could fish for an hour, but I'd rather run around fighting stuff for that time. Level 9 priest had to be Murlocs. A Riverpaw Outrunner. That is a knoll? In Elwyn? A Riverpaw Outrunner. Huh. Okay. Have I ever considered a career in audiobook narration? No. That sounds like a lot of hard work. It sounds like it'd be a very hard job to do. And also, it wouldn't be as fun as playing video games. And also, it's kind of like voice acting and like audiobook reading, it's kind of like acting. Like, you have to have an agent, you have to have a way into the industry. You can't just go apply to like read audiobooks, unfortunately. And then I imagine you have to spend a lot of time reading like the worst kind of books, like the books that you would never want to read. It'd be a hard job. It doesn't sound... People say that to me a lot, and I think I appreciate where they're coming from with it. But that would be a really hard job. I would probably go back to teaching corporate classes before I thought about trying to get into that kind of industry. He does not just sit and read. I do sit and read. I've read like 9 Cosmere books in the last 9 months. I don't sit and read for hours at a time, but I'll sit there and read. I don't know. I have a whole shelf of hardcover books that I've read from front to back, so I'm happy with the amount of time that I read. Now I have other environmental factors that sometimes stop me from being able to sit and read. That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Baldur's Gate 3 narrator has published her outtakes on YouTube. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, a lot of times while I read, I will let something play on YouTube in the background, or if we're watching a football game that's not entirely super interesting, then I'll read a little bit then. That's true. I remember like outtakes from like Lunar Silver Star Story and stuff like back in the day, like listening to like the voice actor outtakes were always like pretty hilarious. Johnny, Audible ruined you reading a lot. I listened to Audible for a while, like I listened to audiobooks for a bit. With an audiobook, like I kind of get like zoned out. It's like it's so much easier for me to get distracted and not really pay attention to an audiobook. I start to listen to my inner like monologue that's going on in my own head, and then so I stop listening to the book. And when I'm reading, at least like it requires a level of focus that like while I'm reading I don't get distracted if I'm actively reading. You know, I listened to a couple of like the Warcraft stories as audiobooks. I listened to the Arthas book as an audiobook. I listened to Before the Storm as an audiobook. But like when I think about those books now, like I can't remember a lot. Whereas when I think about Mistborn or Stormlight book, I can remember a lot of stuff. I can remember lots of stuff. I can remember lots of character conversations. I can remember all the major events. I can remember the thoughts I had about what was going on, which is like, that's kind of the difference. Like it's almost like when I listen to an audiobook, if I start to try to think about what's going on, that stops me from listening to it. But if I'm not thinking about what's going on in the book, I don't properly absorb it. Whereas like when I'm reading, I can read a bit, I can pause, and I can think about what I read. Or I can connect two thoughts together in the story. I can be like, I can have those aha moments with the story where I would go, oh, and I can kind of sit there for a minute with the ramifications of what I just realized. Whereas with an audiobook, I have to literally stop and press pause if I want to think. Well, so what happens instead is like I start thinking, and then it's like suddenly I'm not listening. Suddenly the guy has ranted on for like 3 more paragraphs that I've totally missed it. Because I was thinking about what he said in the one paragraph a minute and a half ago. Yeah, like reading from an actual physical book lets me be ADD because I can stop, I can look up, and like I don't have to press a pause. I don't have to worry about missing anything, you know. Feed the pet. I will feed the pet. He deserves it. He's been working hard for us. He can eat today. Apparently we have a Murloc buddy. Do night elves have any special ability during the nighttime? How cool would that be? They don't. They don't. It's been a long time since I played during the nighttime to even like see the nighttime skyboxes. I often wish that WoW would adopt the game time system that like Final Fantasy XIV has. Where like the time actively changes, so like within an hour you will see like a whole day pass. That would be really cool, because what happens instead is like if you're a person that you can only play at certain times of the day, you don't get to see the nighttime skybox, you don't get to see the nighttime lighting or like experience that at all. So yeah, a long time in my life when I first started playing WoW, I only played at night. So that was all I ever saw, was like how the game looked at night. And now I mainly only play during the day. I kind of wish it would just like go through a day-night cycle every half hour or something. Put Shadow Meld on my bar? Yeah, I could. I never use Shadow Meld. People tell me I should. And it'll come up, they'll be like, you should have Shadow Melded before you sat down and drank. It's a dangerous area here. Yeah, I know. I never use it. I know that I should. I'll take a look at it. Maybe I'll pull it out to the bar. Johnny, take care of yourself, man. Be careful with that. Sounds like you probably got the warning in time, but still. We'll see you next time. I should probably train some of this stuff. Well, we are all done with the crawler legs. We need 2 more groupers. And I guess we got all the gaffer jacks? Maybe? William, what race will I be? In the official hardcore, I am going to be an orc warrior. Yeah, I don't see the jacks tracking. Sounds weird. Oh god, okay. I see what's happening. It's not in the Darkshore category. It's somewhere else. It's in the fishing category that I can't see. Maybe if I shrink some of this stuff down. No, not even then. Okay, so we need a lot, basically. We still need to do a lot of fishing, as exciting as that is. Yeah, what else do we have? We have strider meat. We can go kill some striders. That could be good. Yep. Okay, let's go off into the woods here and we'll do a little bit of actual fighting. What would I think if Blizz integrated Wrath or Retail quest tracking into Classic Era? I wouldn't care too much because we're already all using Questie. Are you talking about like the positional beacons and stuff that they put in like Retail? I don't think that would really bother me. Everybody uses their quest tracking add-on of choice for the most part. So that's a reason why I don't think they would do that, because you know it'd be a technical lift they'd have to do. But I think a lot of people are fine using the questing add-ons. But yeah, I wouldn't feel anything particularly bad about it. I might still use Questie in that case, but it depends on how well it was. How well it was done. Some of the quest tracking in Retail, when you're back in like the older zones, some of the quest tracking is funky. And it's not always like it's not always super accurate. It can mislead you. I need to loot that guy. Which means we might have to fight that guy. Yeah, the problem with skinning is that, like, I can keep skinning, I'm gonna cap it out. We are gonna have to make a trip back to Darnassus at some point. I'm kind of hoping we can just wait till level 14, you know, at level 14 we can go train. Ah, you'd think so, but it doesn't look like it. The only trainer I see here is the fishing trainer. I think we're gonna have to go back to Darnassus to train anything else. I kind of have figured out, like, what it is. Like, part of what makes me feel like I don't engage with combat when I'm not on like a melee class. You don't get to hear any of, like, the grunts or growls or anything from the enemy most of the time, unless you're standing a lot closer than you should be. But yeah, it's more silent. It's a lot more silent. All the combats kind of feel like it's really quiet. And I don't like the battle, like, effects to be up super loud. But yeah, we hear our pet growls, right? The pet growls, he runs off. But then it's just the bow shots, which are all very quiet. I'll just wait till you get a gun. That's a fair point. Yeah, the gun will be louder. The gun will be louder, yeah. But I'll still feel like, you know, I don't get to hear any of their animations or anything go off. It's like, I think that's part of it. It's part of why I feel like I just kind of get detached from the combat. Like, I go through the motions and I hit the buttons, but I never feel, like, really engaged with what's happening. Unless the enemy's punching me in the face. Tactical, you feel the opposite. You think that the melee sounds are why you don't like to play melee classes. Yeah. No, we're obviously not. There's lots of ways that we are not the same. Yeah. That makes sense. Like I said, I don't like them to be super loud because I find like the loud, if it's loud and repetitive, I find it to be really annoying. Which is why I usually roll with the SFX like pretty low, you know, and the music and ambience up a lot higher. But I think that is part of why I feel just a little bit disengaged. It's because I don't hear the clanging of my sword, the grunting of the enemy. I like those things to be there just like quietly. Yeah, I definitely think that like annoying repetitive sound effects can ruin a game. And it can ruin someone's enjoyment of a game. I think about, the example I always think about is V Rising. If anybody has played V Rising, he does like the every time you swing, it's and it's like, I can't effing listen to it. I can't listen to it. And that was a game that I thought was cool. I tried to watch Carnage play that game because I'm like, this is a cool game. I'm not going to play this right now. I don't have time. But I'm like, maybe I'll watch play for a while. And like, he just like, he never thinks to turn his he never thinks to like adjust his sounds. He'll like adjust the master volume. But it's like he never because of his audio setup, it's almost like he never notices that like some of the sounds are hyper annoying. Yeah, V Rising is a good example of just like bad kind of sound design if you leave that setting up really high. What else? Yeah, just a couple of games. If it's bad sound design or there are annoying sound effects or annoying NPC reactions. The 40K game that was like XCOM, it was like XCOM 40K. That was a cool game, but like the enemies made the most annoying noises. They had like the most annoying little voice lines. Every noise that happened was abrasive. And so the sound design kind of was really bad in that game. Yeah, bad sound design can like destroy someone. It can destroy your enjoyment of a game, and you might not even realize why. It might take you a while to realize like, oh man, I just really hate the sound effects. Sadly, our inventory is full. Let's just head back to town. Yeah, there's no reason to stay out here if we can't loot and skin. James, you hate the sound of the eating and drinking in WoW. Huh. Okay. Yeah, see, I've never noticed it. Our cat has died. Rip cat. He had a good life. He didn't make it. Yeah. It's bad. We could probably use this axe if we could ever get to a place where we could train axes. That would be cool. I should have summoned the cat back out. Or can I res him? Is that what I have to do? I have to actually resurrect him, don't I? Alright, a wing clip for you. Wing clip for you. Everybody gets a wing clip. You don't want to have your wings clipped, but you're going to. Nah. Who needs a pet? Yeah, I'll get him when I get back to town. I'm a little bit distracted. My wife was about to go to the grocery store and she came back in and she asked me, hey, you didn't happen to rifle through all the compartments of the car, pull things out and leave it in kind of a disarray? And I said, no. So it turns out, we've lived in this neighborhood for almost 4 years now, never had a problem. It turns out somebody rifled through our vehicle. Which admittedly, we probably should have like beeped it, locked it. Probably should have some like better habits about stuff like that. But yeah, so I got a little bit distracted. Nothing was like valuable. No, we don't leave valuable stuff in the car. There were some quarters in the car. They stole the quarters. Yep. So that's what was distracting me. Let's see. Revive pet. Okay, perfect. I think it's part of it's because like my mom's car is here now. She's staying with us. She's having a hip surgery, so we had to move her in here so that she can we can be there to help her during recovery. So her car is in the driveway. So because of that, our car was not as far into the driveway as it normally would be. And it was like just that one little change. So that one little change took it from like they see a car deep in a driveway and they think that's probably not worth it. Too close to the house. Not gonna risk it. Like, the 7 feet forward that the car is now parked, that was clearly enough for someone to say, hey, I'm gonna go try those doors, see if I can get in there and steal some shit. It was a 7-foot difference. So that's cool. Alright, vendoring is, yeah, it's not done, it's not good. The situation with their inventory is still absolute shit. Not really sure what we can do about that. I don't want to run all these because we need to be doing the heavy linen at this point, and I don't have heavy linen at this point. Our fishing quest we probably never finished. 3 out of 8. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. I guess we just keep fighting stuff until we hit level 14, and then we have to get ourselves back to Darnassus for a couple of housekeeping items. Yeah, I don't want to do any of that right now. I don't want to make bandages until I learn the next rank. I'm pretty sure we should be in heavy linen at 50, right? And I don't want to waste the linen, and I don't want to waste the potential skill ups. We could turn our scraps. I'll do the scraps, because that'll help out a little bit. But I'm gonna leave the linen for now. I also don't know if I need all this fish. This guy hates his pet. What's wrong with this guy? What a terrible human being. Yeah, I'm not a good hunter player. This is one of the reasons why I don't play hunter often. It's kind of the same thing on warlock. For some reason, when it comes to pet classes, like, people are more particular about how I play. It's why I probably won't play those classes in the future. Now you know how I look? Yeah, I look very similar to the icon that's been on my channel for 5 years. I don't hate my pet, to be clear, but I don't overly care. Yeah. And I feel like to be a good hunter, you have to overly care about your pet. In special ways that maybe I never will. So this will probably be the only hunter that exists on the channel at any point in time. I need a theme song like Ghostbusters. Why specifically, like, why would you specifically reference Ghostbusters? There's lots of things with theme songs. I mean, I like Ghostbusters a lot. It just seems kind of random. I need like a catchy little jingle. Yeah. And I probably know enough that I could concoct something like that with some like music software. But yeah, I'm not really much of a musician, and I'm also not much of an artist. And my channel definitely reflects those two failings. Because I don't have any cool art, and I don't have any cool intro music. And I also don't have any friends, so it's not like I know people who are necessarily skilled at those things, who could potentially help me. Like Beverly Hills Cop, also like random still. I feel like the drop rate on meat off these guys is pretty low. Yeah, the X-Files theme, yeah, I like that. I think, obviously I can't use any of these things exactly because YouTube will get me. But maybe something similar to that. Do I have track animals? That's not a dumb question, Tweety. The answer is yes. Yeah, I could be finding the animals that I want on the minimap. Yep, I absolutely have it, and it's not a dumb question. David, you feel bad when they get hurt or die? I'm the opposite. I'm completely apathetic. I think that would make you a good hunter, and it makes me a bad one because like I'm just apathetic. I don't care. I won't even rename my pet because I don't give a crap. And so that's what part of what makes me a bad hunter. Is that I can't be bothered to care. Stanzy, it's going well. Thanks for being here. I need to unbind pet attack from 4 so that I can have my 4 key back. Yeah, I need my 4 key back, turns out. Key bindings, action bars. Nope, that was not what I wanted. Although that's interesting. There we go. T-Mobile home internet, Ryan. T-Mobile home internet sounds scary. Yeah. I don't know if I would want T-Mobile to be handling my phone. I definitely don't think I'd want them handling my internet. We have Xfinity fiber where I'm at. And I haven't really had any problems with them, surprisingly. I had to call them early on to make them stop capping my upload because they were like, unlimited! It's unlimited! Unlimited! It turns out when they say unlimited, guys, they mean download. They're never going to give you unlimited upload unless you call them and explain to them that you need it. When we first moved here, after like the first couple weeks, I realized that like my videos were not uploading. They were uploading at like dial-up speeds. And then it come to find out, like, no, you gotta pay. If you want your upload to also be unlimited, you gotta pay a little bit more money, because that ain't gonna happen by default for whatever reason. So that was the only problem I had with them. But after that, like, there were no problems. After that, my upload has been unlimited. Other than that, it's been fine. Yeah, that's fair. With Xfinity, it's like as long as we're like in the state, well, it's most likely we'd be able to take it with us, you know, because they're kind of, I think they're like basically statewide. Even if we wanted to move up north into like, you know, a little bit farther away from things, I think we'd still be able to get the same service. I miss my Google Fiber from Kansas City, because Google Fiber was effing amazing. I could upload a 4K, hour-long 4K video, would upload to YouTube in like 15 minutes. Like a 30 or 40 gig file just uploaded instantly. It's pretty great. Yeah, my pet's not really digging the food. I'll just overfeed him. I'll just keep feeding him and feeding him and feeding him until he bursts. That's what you do with pets, right? Yeah, just look up Xfinity. Xfinity, it used to be Comcast, you know. That's like, they're one of the biggest providers of fiber in the area. It's like basically you can have Xfinity fiber or you can have AT&T fiber. Like, those are the two big companies, like, in this area where we're at. And I don't know how AT&T is. They might be an okay option as well. But Xfinity used to be called Comcast. And they've been around in Michigan for, like, 20 years. They've been around for a long time. So they have pretty good infrastructure. And I've never had any issues with them. Mr. Jackpot's welcome, man. How's the hunter going? It's going. It's going. I don't know where it's going exactly, but we're on a journey, yeah. We're shooting the bow. The pet's doing most of the work. Like, most of the heavy lifting is being done by the pet. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they've upped ours, but I'm not sure if my wife would tell me if they did. She hasn't complained about them upping ours. Well, originally, like I said, we had to pay a little bit more right off the bat because we needed unlimited upload. So that was like a little bit more. Papa Big Pockets, you're from the top of the mitt? Yeah, we think we're going to end up at the top of the mitten eventually. We want to move north because, you know, this summer's been really, really hot. And it's kind of shown us both that, like, we kind of hate the heat and we won't really go outside in the heat, and it stops us from having a fun or productive summer. Because we will just avoid the outside entirely. And unless it drops below, like, 75 degrees, like, neither me nor my wife want it. My kid doesn't like the heat. None of us like it when the sun is beating on us and trying to cook our molecules, it turns out. So yeah, we've been thinking about, like, moving north to near the top of the mitten. Like, yeah, it could happen. Yeah, oh, I know. My wife's dad lives up that way. Actually, near Mansalona, which isn't up in the mitten, but it's like halfway to the top of the mitten. And it's really cool. It's a lot cooler there than it is here, and he's only halfway to the top. So yeah, it's like at this point, the farther north that we move, probably the better off we'll be. I don't mind having like an 80-degree day once in a while. What I really appreciate is when it's like an 80-degree day and then it cools off a lot at night. Like as soon as the sun sets, I like the temperature. I like to have the windows open. I like to not run the AC. Ideally, I would live in a place where like I didn't need to run AC at all. which I guess could be like Maine or Alaska. Could live in Maine or Alaska, or I could live way up in Marquette. But yeah, I don't like running the air conditioning. I absolutely hate it. I don't mind like a nice window fan, you know? I like it when it's warm during the day, but then it cools off enough at night that like instead of running the AC for 7 more hours, you can put a window fan in the window and just suck in some cool air from outside and put that into the house. The Pacific Northwest, I can't afford to though. I think it's expensive. If you're talking about like Washington State, Seattle, and Portland and stuff, like I'd love to live in a place like that. I don't think I can afford it. I live in southeastern Michigan, and like affording living here is a challenge enough. And it's not a super desirable place to live if you don't know. And so like I don't think I can spend the money to live in like any of the nicer places. Not right now, at least. Maybe something changes in the future, but yeah. Oh, rip Steelhide level 7 Tauren Warrior Alex. Uh-oh. Yeah, warriors, I guess, like it's not very survivable, is it? If something goes wrong on a warrior, like the only thing you can do is try to kill everything before it kills you. And like once you have a couple of cooldowns, like once you have retaliation and sweeping strikes, the warrior gets a little bit better, because then at least you can quickly kill stuff before it kills you. Yeah, we're yeah, about an hour north of Detroit. Yeah, we're not anywhere near it, thankfully. Katie, good evening. Have a good sleep. We'll see you next time. Yeah, Papa, for a lot of my life, I lived near Gratiot. Yeah. Yep, those are the old stomping grounds. Cruising Gratiot Avenue. Driving up and down with nothing to do, you know? It was cursed, Alex. You should blame the black bag. From now on, we should just start dumping black bags right back on the ground. It's like, yeah, it's added inventory space, but is it really worth the risk? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't even know if we should hang on to them long enough to vendor them. Maybe we just leave them on the bodies, you know? The Five Guys is really good, Ryan. Five Guys is good. What I like about the Five Guys is like being able to go in and just order on the touchscreens and like not have to communicate with a single human being until they like call the food. Yeah, I like Five Guys a lot. It's always good. I've never gone there and had like a subpar food experience. It's better than trying to go to like a Coney or like a diner where like not only am I gonna get like wishy-washy service, I'm probably gonna get like bad food, and then they expect you to tip. It's like, yeah, you can either go to Five Guys and get like a delicious burger for a reasonable price and not have to interact with people, or you can go to a Coney, order a burger and some fries. It may or may not be any good, service is gonna be meh, and they expect you to tip. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Joe, it's not super expensive where I'm at. Like I said, just going out to a little diner is going to be much more expensive. And so, yeah. We usually hit up Five Guys like every other week. It's nice to have Conies around for like, you know, sometimes you're in the mood for a Coney dog. I just don't like going to those places because like the service is always bad, and I know, and I understand why. I understand why, like, if you're working at one of those places, why, like, you're not going to be super excited to be amazing. You know, there's no reason for you to be amazing. You're underpaid, you're overworked, there's not enough staff, you know? And so, yeah. Ryan, I haven't seen an In-N-Out in a long time. We had an In-N-Out in the neighborhood when I was a kid that we'd ride our bikes to and buy like candy and soda and all the bad stuff that we shouldn't have been eating or drinking. I haven't seen an In-N-Out in a while. Yeah, the service industries, the way we have them structured, it's horrible because, like, ideally you would just pay people more and they wouldn't be relying on tips. And then, like, I would go there more because I wouldn't be worried about having to give a tip to somebody who didn't really do a good job, but I understand why they're not doing a good job, so I feel even more compelled to tip them well. It's a really bad situation. It's like, and I think a lot more people are gonna, like, lean towards, like, places that are kind of automated. You know, I like going into Panera and just ordering on the touchscreen. I like going into Five Guys and just ordering on the touchscreen, getting my own food, getting my own drinks. I don't need somebody to do these things for me. And I definitely don't need them to do those things for me when it's going to be my job to compensate their shitty wages. Like, I don't want to feel morally compelled to compensate somebody's shitty wages at the job they hate working. So, yeah. Johnny, you're back, man. Everything's squared away. Did the storm ever, like, move in? I missed you earlier. I saw you came back earlier now. I've just been on rants, man. I hope everything's cool. I've been on rants and I've been, like, distracted by other thoughts. And we've just been fighting wildlife. I'm not even sure, like, our objective is still the same. We're still trying to get the rest of the strider meat, but I feel like the strider meat is a pretty low drop rate. We've just been kind of fighting everything. Still got a tornado warning. Oh, it's still on the way. Okay, so they gave you a lot of time. It's awesome that you had so much time to make sure stuff was squared away. Yeah, I need the train 14. I'm trying to finish this quest first, but it doesn't really seem like it's gonna happen soon. We don't have to be in a rush about it. I can go back and we can head over to Darnassus and we can get trained up. Yeah, David, people suck, man. People suck. I'm always kind to people, even if the service is bad or the food is bad. I just try to be kind to people that work in those places. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, like, there's only so much they can do within reason. Ryan, thanks for hanging out, man. We'll see you next time. Have a good rest of your day. Do pets have talents in Classic? They don't necessarily have talents, I don't think, but they have beast training. And like, different pets can learn different abilities. From what little I understand. Like, we don't have charge. If we got a boar, we could train charge. Because boars get the charge. But, like, our cat doesn't get the charge. What I don't know about the Classic Hunters, like, if I get a boar and I train charge, will I be able to teach that eventually to other types of pets? Like, will I be able to have an owl that taunts and charges if I have other pets that have those innately and I train them? That's the part of Classic Hunters and pets that I don't know. Yes, Mr. Jackpot's nailed it. Service and retail workers get paid nothing to get treated like garbage all day. And not by everybody, but you can be guaranteed if you work in the service industry, like, someone is going to be a jerk to you. Every time you go, and it's a lot of times it's going to be your coworkers. Why? Because they're all unhappy just like you are. So it's not always that you're treated badly by a customer. A lot of times it's like your boss or a coworker or something like that. But you can basically be guaranteed that every time you go into work for a whole week, during that day, you're going to have a bad experience. You're not just going to be able to go do your job like a lot of people get to do and have an okay time. Another human being is going to come along, and it's going to be bad, you know. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, getting paid more would compensate that a little bit, but... Yeah, I won't get into a big social justice rant today. I'm too tired for it. It's too late in the afternoon for me to rant on about a global living wage and all that good stuff. Nobody needs to hear me talk about that stuff anyway. Let's shove the crawler legs into this box. One of the weirdest quest lines in the game, and I try not to think about it too much, but I feel like there's something really like inside baseball about this quest. Like that the people who put this quest in the game, it's about a drunk gnome. Firstly, we're helping a totally hammered gnome, and he gets drunker and drunker the more we do the Buzzbox quest. And it's like, yeah, okay. They want to turn all the pretty lady paintings into fruit, but then they leave in the quest that clearly show that the people at Blizzard had some kind of problem. Let's leave in the quest about the gnome that just drinks and drinks and drinks, and let's cover up all the ladies with fruit. That'll fix it. That'll show them. Let's fly back over. We don't have to take the boat. Yeah, unfortunately in capitalism, which, you know, we're stuck in, it dictates if we pay employees more, we must raise prices. And then the people stop coming because they don't want to spend the money, and then they have to fire the employees. It's like, capitalism sucks as a way to treat humans well. Capitalism was never intended to be a system that controlled a society. It was always just a model of how economics could work. And instead, we just let it go. Yeah, like when we first started with capitalism, like no one really thought about the moral consequences of like a totally free market. I mean, people did, but we didn't make like a lot of guidelines about it. We have minimum wages that like aren't enough for anybody to get by. It's a shit show, you know. It's a shit show. There's no fix for any of it. There's no fix for any of it that's going to be ever enacted. What sucks sometimes though is like it's like people say like, oh, it's a job that's for kids, you know, it's a job. Like some kids will work at fast food places and that's fine. If you're a kid working at a fast food place, like you probably don't need to make a ton of money, right? Because you're probably still living at home. Maybe you're going to school part-time. But a lot of times those aren't the people that are in those jobs. A lot of times it's like just people my age. You know, and they do need money because they have kids. And so it's like, yeah, on the one hand, the design intention is that low-paying jobs are meant for unskilled workers, and that unskilled workers are young workers. And so the design intention is that young workers will take those jobs, they will work them for a time, they will gain experience, they will go to school, and they will move on to higher paying jobs. That's the system's design intention. But that's not what happens. Instead, people get stuck in those jobs. They don't always go to school. They don't always move on. They don't always grow their experience. So yeah, there's that. That's an interesting thought there, Mr. Jackpots. I find that interesting. Yeah, basically, in capitalism, money is God. Yeah. For a lot of people, it's that way. And for a lot of people, like the only time God is God is when something awful has happened, or they want to ask for something. Like, but the rest of the time, money fills that spot. Let's see. So we need skinning and we need class training. Class training, I have no idea. What's this here? Warrior trainer. Don't need that. Don't know why. We're gonna have to talk to a guard. I'm gonna make our way over to the skinning trainer, and maybe we'll get lucky and the hunter trainer will be over that way. Where's my pet? He peaced out on the flight, probably. I have no idea. Yep, he peaced out. He's been having trouble today, like staying out. And sometimes I've had trouble noticing that he wasn't out. Go in the building where the mounts are? I don't know where that one is either. I don't know where you get mounts here either. I'm gonna search for it in a second. I don't know my way around this town, so... to me, it's a big confusing cacophony of like streets and pathways and waterways that I have a hard time navigating as it is. First aid, though, we wanna do that too. Let's grab first aid. We need heavy linen. Now we're gonna stand here for a minute until we can train the next. Let's do all of these. This is what I was waiting for to do the bandages, because you know this might actually be useful to heal us or to heal our pet. You know, we could actually use those, whereas like the little ones we weren't really using them. Matthias, no, the official hardcore servers are opening up this Thursday, the 24th. Yeah, we don't know what time on Thursday, but sometime on Thursday we'll be playing on the official servers. Hoping it'll be a good time. Alright, Robin, most job postings require 3 years of experience for entry-level positions. I always found that very humorous, yeah. It's like, it's an entry-level job, but they expect you to have experience in it, and that just goes to show you that in society, like, you often get your chance in your break by knowing somebody. That's how I got my break into corporate America, into training development, into, like, a big boy job, was I impressed a person. I had the opportunity to work with somebody who was a manager in training development for the company that I was working for. And I was like a low-level manager at the time for like H&R Block's technical call centers. And I wanted to write, and I wanted to write training, and I just happened to be able to meet the manager of the training team at the time, and I impressed him. And he helped me get a job and just move into that industry. So it was like an easy shoo-in, just because I impressed a single human being and he liked me. You know, otherwise I didn't have really the experience needed to get a real shoe in the door. I just got really lucky. I had the skills I needed. I could write. I learned design, and I learned how to teach class. But if I had not met and impressed that person, I might not have ever had that opportunity. And that would have led to a totally different life. Alright, so that's done. We can be done with that. Let's go over to the Skinner. Yeah, that's kind of how it was. Like you know, they could see that I had the ability to do it, but if I had applied for the job that I got with just my credentials and they did not know who I was, I would never have gotten the job that I got. If I had been someone just off the streets, submitting the resume that I had at the time, even after an interview, they probably still would not have been able to hire me, because I would not have really been qualified for it by the standards that they wanted. Multiple years of classroom training, design experience. I didn't have it. But it was an entry-level job at the time, so it was always kind of baffling, like, you know, or they want you to have an English degree. So an English degree is not going to help you design training materials. An English degree is not going to help you facilitate classes. An English degree is not really going to help you with those things, but you know, they want something most of the time. Tailors, so maybe up top, we're looking at Skinners up top. I love the architecture of the Night Elf place, but it's like, it's kind of confusing. Here we go. Yeah, Johnny, you had a good time. Not everybody gets that experience. That's the other side of capitalism, is that capitalism opens doors for some people. You know, but a lot of what opens doors is knowing people and making connections. Every once in a while, someone can be entirely self-made, and they can succeed all on their own steam. That can definitely happen. It doesn't happen to everybody, and it doesn't happen to a high percentage of people for lots of different reasons. And so that just is what it is. You know, like I said, it's why I should probably just avoid these kinds of topics, because I have lots of feelings about it, but ultimately our feelings don't matter, because nothing changes. things will keep on keeping on the way that they are, and we'll just play video games the whole time, you know. Okay, we trained skinning, we trained first aid, we trained fishing. We did not train at the trainer because I still don't know where the trainer is. So yeah, hunter training, and then out. What I'm really finding annoying is the complete lack of guards. I need to find a guard to talk to, and I feel like in most other cities, they're easier to spot. Like this guy's not a guard; he can't talk to me. He's a treant. A treant can't talk to me. So there's that. Maybe over here somewhere in this little area. I'm trying to remember if I've ever been to the trainer before. Yeah, Mr. Jackpot's exactly. Yeah, even my experience was special. I got really lucky, you know. I could have gone, and I worked hard. I busted my ass with that job, but if not for the luck of meeting the right person at the right time in my life, I might not have had the opportunity. I can't find this guy. The building behind the mounts. Okay, the mounts. Let me try to look. Here's the mounts. Okay, I see him now. The building maybe up here. Yeah, riding trainer. I wish Questie would just stop tracking the warrior trainers. Here we go. Hunter trainer. I'd like to train. Eagle Eye, don't care. Eyes of the Beast, don't care. Guys, it was a useless level, besides maybe Scare Beast might be useful sometimes. Okay, what about the pet trainer? What about the pet trainer? Well said, Mr. Jackpot. You shouldn't have to be lucky to be able to just enjoy your life. I kind of definitely, I agree with that. Especially in a society, in a culture where there are like 1% of people who have like all the fucking money. I feel like you shouldn't have to be lucky just to be able to enjoy your life and have a decent time with it, because it doesn't last very long. You know, meanwhile people are rolling around with 7 gold yachts. Okay. Up the tree. You gotta go up the tree to get to the pet trainer guy. My brain is like fried for today. I think my brain's just fried for today. I'm sitting here looking at the coffee that I haven't drank yet. Now I'm kind of depressed because we've been talking about capitalism. Always depresses the hell out of me. That's why it's gonna have to go on my topic of things that I absolutely never talk about on the channel. We're not gonna be able to have these conversations because any talk about like society or capitalism totally crushes me. You're also a hunter trainer. No, I need someone to train my pets. Yeah, I mean, I figured that I went the wrong way. Yeah. That part is, that part's pretty obvious. I hate this city. I hate this city, and I hate that there are no guards. And I hate when things are on multiple levels of the same building. Yeah, there's a level of the building here that I missed. With the 10-second delay in chat, we're never gonna get me there that way. So we might just not be worrying about this right now. I'm not gonna worry about this right now. I'll Google it later. I'll look up a YouTube video of a dude smarter than me running to where the guy's at, and then I'll do it that way, because that's just gonna get really old really quick. And there we go. There's our pet, our undertrained, under-evolved pet. Right, exactly. Oh, it was only gonna get more frustrating, Tweety. Yeah, like my brain is kind of now, so. I would like to get a couple of these quests done. That's kind of the goal right now. Is like, yeah, I'd like to get this quest done. We've been working on it for a while. It'd be nice to have it done. Red Robin, do I have any vacation plans? No. Am I going on a vacation? If I'm going on a vacation, I don't know about it. No, we don't do a lot of vacationing. We spent some time this summer up at my wife's dad's place for a few days. And she has some work trips. She has some work trips she has to go on. That's a work trip is as close to a vacation as it gets for people like us. So we don't have the money to like kind of waste just having a little vacay. Yeah. Dump the pet for a higher level one? That's so rude. How would you ever dare do that to Cat? We couldn't do that to Cat. I think he's okay. He's level 13. He's not too low of a level. We couldn't abandon Cat. We clearly care so much about him. No, I need to get a bear, and I need to train up a bear. I think would be useful. Hey, we did it! We finally did it! 2 hours later, guys, we got all the Strider meat we need. Who needs vacations when you have Azeroth? Yeah, exactly. Like, the thing about me and vacations, too, is like, I'm not really a vacation person. Even if I had a stack of money, I wouldn't spend it that way. Yeah, because I don't really want to leave home. I don't really want to leave home, because if I leave home, like, I can't play, I can't have my routine, I can't eat my food, I can't work out. Like, I don't really like spending a lot of time away from home. It's not relaxing to me to spend a lot of time away from home because, like, my daily order is messed up. I don't get to have my routine, and I'm very much a creature that thrives. I do better when I have a routine. And I could unravel if I don't have a routine. So yeah, I'm not even really the type of person that would like to go on. I like to go on, like, I like to go hiking and stuff. I guess if I went on like a vacation, I'd probably go on like a backpacking trip in the autumn. Like a 2-day overnight backpacking trip in the autumn sounds amazing. But like going to a hotel and staying at a hotel with my kids and random other people's kids, filling up a hotel in a place, or like a theme park type situation sounds horrible. All that stuff sounds bad. Sochis, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm getting tired, but besides that, I'm doing well. I think a little bit of fatigue. We're at almost 3 hours. I'm getting the 3-hour fatigue because I'm an old person. Maybe we can finish up the fishing quest. That sounds like an okay thing to do with like very low energy. Maybe we can finish up. We need 17 things still out of the water, I'm sure. We need a bunch of gaffer jacks. And probably other stuff. Yeah. 2 more Darkshore groupers. Yeah, it sounds like you don't want to stand in line at Disneyland all day. Yeah, nothing sounds better than just standing in line for a ride for 2 hours so the ride can go on for 20 minutes and then doing it again. Nah, that's okay. I'll pass on that stuff. Fishing rod. Let's equip our fishing rod. 40 is the new 20. Oh, physically I feel great. I just like, I can't sit here and play for as long as I used to in my 20s because I don't have the attention span or the drive to do it. Physically, I'm in a much better place than I was in my early 20s. Yeah. So that part is fine. It's just like having the attention and the desire to sit at my computer for more than 3 hours is very different. And yeah, it's just different. When I was in my 20s, I could probably sit at my computer for 8 or 9 hours. Now, obviously, I can get up and eat and stuff like that, which I don't do a lot of that on the stream. I don't get up a lot, you know. I don't have a standing desk. I don't often like Unless my wife makes me food, like, I don't often take breaks and step away and eat during the stream, so. Once I'm at 3 hours and I haven't ingested any more food than I had at the start, it gets more fatiguing than it probably would have been when I was younger. I'm gonna be 40 years old in January. You guys don't get to see a lot of the gray in my beard most of the time. I have a lot of gray in my chin hairs that like usually is just not on screen. You can't really tell. You don't get to see like the crow's feet at the corners of my eyes because the way glasses kind of hide your eyes. And also like I probably don't look 40 because, you know, I've been weightlifting for the past 18 years. And the scientists say that like the real anti-aging is muscles. It turns out. It turns out the best anti-aging is just to have muscles and maintain them. Would I ever do mustache only? Hell yeah, I would. My wife would hate it, but I would, and one day I will for at least a little while. And I'll get some big aviator glasses as well. Like the 80s like serial killer style glasses. I would love to do that. Con, I'm still a young pup. I feel pretty young. Like I said, I don't feel old. I might just my attention and my desires are different. And I don't have a lot of attention to sit for more than 3 hours, and I don't have a big like desire to sit for more than 3 hours. Whereas like when I was young, sure, I'll play WoW for 8 or 9 hours a day. That part is different. Will we finish this one today? I don't know. Sochi's, yeah, if it was morning for you, it would probably be it'd probably be like the middle of the night for me. Like it's like a 6 or 7 hour difference. So like for me to be on in the morning for you, I think I would be playing at like 1 or 2 a.m. my time, which would be super impossible for me. That's also the big difference. Like we're talking about like official hardcore, right? The official hardcore servers will probably come up at 6 o'clock my time. I'm probably gonna be ready to get off 3 hours after that and be done. Whereas like in my 20s, I probably would have stayed on till like 1 or 2 in the morning and then gotten to bed. But at my current age, with my current life, I'm just thinking, yeah, I'll just have my normal night. I don't need to play a bunch. Play more tomorrow. We're getting a lot of the gaffer jacks. Did we finish the Did we finish the fish? I have so many quests, I can't even make heads or tails of it. Think positive? I'm trying to. We all know how much I love fishing when it's not at the beginning of a stream. I think we must be done with that fishing quest, right? Yes. Okay, so that one's done. We just need we need 2 more gaffer jacks, and then we're done with the fishing stuff. Yeah, like what'll probably happen with the streaming schedule a little bit is I'll probably start streaming a little bit earlier my time. Once school is back in, I'll probably stream a little bit earlier. I'll probably come on stream around like 11 o'clock in the morning my time, which for the folks in the EU will probably be sometime in like the middle of the afternoon, or maybe approaching evening. Yeah, my schedule will be a little bit different. In a couple weeks, the schedule will be a little bit different. Yeah, I won't be coming on at 2 or 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock will probably be when the stream like is gonna end for the day, and then I might contemplate coming back on in the evening sometimes to do like a second stream. But yeah, I think in a couple weeks we'll be going from like 11 to 3. The 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. window will probably be like the prime streaming time for me. I like to take my kid to school and pick him up from school every day so that I feel useful to him in some capacity. Hey, look at that. That's awesome. Let's turn these in. It's a big win. The cat needs more love. Nah, the cat's gonna stay cat. Told you guys. I'm not like an in-game pet person. I'm never gonna care about my in-game pet. I'm never gonna get like attached to my in-game pet. Yeah. I don't collect the non-combat pets because I don't really care about them either. Where is this guy? There he is. Yep. I like the warlock pets, how they kind of just get their own name, you know? They come with a name. He has another quest at some point. Okay. Does the pet have to be released if it dies? No, apparently not. Nah, we got him. We got Cat killed once and we just rezzed him. I rezzed him and nobody exploded. So I'm assuming that rezzing her. I wondered maybe if like on hardcore the pet dies, he's dead, but apparently not. Apparently it's totally fine to res the pet. What is this now? One night I was wandering the roads of Darkshore. I was looking for a good river or lake to try my new self-propelled exploding duck decoy. And I think I was a little tipsy. Yeah, we know. Everyone at Blizzard was a little tipsy, I think. For a long time. I passed out. I woke up a few hours later. You don't pass out when you're a little tipsy, hate to say. Let's see. I don't know what this is about. Are we fishing these? Maybe you can fish them out. Oh, he has more fishing quests. There are a ton of fishing quests here that, like, if you don't do fishing, you're gonna lose out on the XP. And, like, especially in hardcore, you can't really afford to lose out on the XP. There's an achievement in the add-on for not rezzing the pet. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Hunter would be unplayable with permadeath pets. Yeah, it would not be unplayable, but it would probably be severely gimped for a lot of different reasons. Alright, guys, I tell you what, I have to take a break here. I want to get some food in me. I've got some things I want to do around the house. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I had a good time. Even with all the fishing, I still had a good time. Even with the rant about capitalism, I still had a good time. And it's thanks to you guys being here and showing up. I really appreciate you all. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever time it is for you. And we will see you here next time. Take care of yourselves out there. Take care of each other. And we'll see you back in Azeroth very soon. Bye for now.